My name is Simon Biltcliffe of WebMart.
Hello Simon, nice to meet you, and thank you very much for attending LeaderFest today. How did you feel the event went?
Oh, it was very good. I like the informal nature of it. I mean, I don't particularly like standing up and spouting off about how fantastic things are and all that kind of stuff, so having a Q&A session is much more collaborative, which in this day and age is a much more useful skill than being told or telling. Yeah, I find it really enjoyable. I think people got something from it as well because it was their questions being answered and giving them time to think about things.
As a business leader yourself, have you ever found the need for business coaching or mentoring or indeed a sounding board?
Yeah, I mean, I recruited a chairman who acted as that for me because and my deputy as well, who's older than me. So those two people are very different mindsets and very different kind of ways of doing things. They moderate my excesses. But if you haven't got that infrastructure around you, then something like this is great as a validation of your thought process and, you know, in a non-threatening environment.
You have a strong business philosophy,
Yep.
and that was decided upon from the outset. What made you go down that road?
I think just fundamentally that I find capitalism pretty dull and not fair. And I think that if you find it's a fantastic way of creating value, but unless it's moderated, then it's as destructive as it's constructive. And what I'm trying to do is use the best bits of capitalism, creating value, lean thinking, minimum amount of input for maximum amount of output, but then using the surplus that's created for that to do better things with. So with a charitable trust and with redistributing of the wealth back to the individual who's created it. And so for me, it isn't polar opposites. It's one making the other better, because alone capitalism is not good and Marxism is silly. Combine them together, you've got something that I think is much better than each can offer alone.
And what would be your top tips for business success and business growth today for business leaders?
I think that's come out of it from everybody that's here is that tenacity and being open-minded. I mean, I went to an MIT conference in America and it was a fantastic conference, but the only thing I really did get out of it is suspend preconceived ideas. When you go into something, use your experience to evaluate it when you're in there, but don't go in there saying, I love this or I'll hate that. Go in with an open mind, but anything that's worth doing always takes a lot more work than most people will give it. And so by the nature of the beast, if you're a leader or whatever you want to call them, if you've got to have tenacity and also look after your staff, I think that's again another thing. You know, overpay them at the beginning of their careers, and it'll pay dividends over all the way through. And make sure that you act as a, you know, it's not. I'm not religious, but you know, do unto others as you haven't done unto yourself. And make sure that you do think of everybody as an individual and how you can make the most for their working day.
Great, thank you very much, Simon.
That's okay.